Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Manning Field as we're winding down Agganis week. 9 games for the week. This is game number 8. It's the girls' soccer game, the 27th. And the North has dominated this in the past. North 16 wins to 6 for the South. 4 ties. They had a huge 7 in a row. The North won from 04 to 2010. And then they've won 4 in a row coming into last year. Last year ended in a tie. So in the last 5, they're 4-0-1. South trying to get a split in the soccer games. North won the boys. I mentioned this is the 8th game of the 9 to be played here in this Agganis Classic Week. Sunday there were 4 games, 2 lacrosse, girls softball, boys baseball, and 3 of them ended up in ties. Both lacrosse games were tied, and the girls softball game was tied. But then we had Coach Mike Sukowski from Link Glasgow coaching his last high school baseball game. And he's had a tremendous career on and off the field helping the kids. The kids were the most important product. Wins were good. Kids were the most important product. And he certainly took care of them. He will be deeply missed as a coach. The people that miss out the most, he had a bundle. I think he had might have had a dozen seniors on his team this year. He only had a couple of underclassmen. So it's a shame those kids that will be coming up next year to play won't have any idea what it's like playing for Mike Sukowski. But his team won the baseball game, the South. And then the South won both basketball games. So the North was looking to get on the board. They finally did with the win in the boys. And now the girls will try to make it 2. Lillian Gosselin from Swampscott is in net for the North. Emily Goddard of Danvers in net for the South. And again, the best part of this, wins are good, losses are tough, but this is one time when you forget about the wins and losses and they're offside. The South offside. This is just a case we're playing to have fun. We're playing, and they're playing their last high school event. I can say that now because the only thing left for the girls out there now is the football game. Some of the boys, and even some of the boys' soccer players, I don't think they were, but they could have been members of the football team. I don't think they were, because it runs basically the same season, so I should say no, they're not. But some of the boys have played a couple of sports. Like I know the quarterback from Peabody, Shea, is going to be, he played the basketball game last night and played very well. So there'll be some football players who will be playing in a second, maybe even third game. They could have played baseball, they could play basketball, and they could turn around and play the football game. But for the girls, this will be the last hurrah in high school. You're playing here at Manning Field, and there are a few locals out there now who will be playing their last game, and they're very lucky to be playing their last high school game at their home field. So the home crowd got to get here. Their parents and friends didn't have to go too far to watch their children and their kids play their last high school game on their home field. You got Asima Gabriesus from Lynn English, Bryn Bullock, Eliza Correnti, Delaney Dana from Lynn Classical, Julia Downey, Olivia Egan, Allie Fritz from St. Mary's, and Ava Thurman from Lynn Classical. And the other had it out in front, right at the goal line, and drop kicked it over the net. And that was kicking it out of play, getting it out of harm's way. It was the South kicking it over the net. She almost kicked it into the net. So it's good. I'm sure a lot of these young girls have played. They might have played summer soccer. They played other sports. They played with and against each other a few times growing up. And now all these kids from classical, English, St. Mary's, they all get to play together. And that's another big plus for these young ladies finishing up their high school career. Olivia Egan from St. Mary's is going to Clemson. That's not too shabby. Ella Levesque of Essex Tech is going to Tampa. Trinity Gazamondo from Linfield is going to Buffalo State. May Raymond of Swampscott is going to UCLA. I mentioned during the boys' game, there's a girl from Gloucester playing who was going to San Diego State. And from St. Mary's, their outstanding pitcher, Anna Franguli, is going to Alabama. But that young lady from Gloucester going from the far end of the East Coast going all the way to the West Coast. There was another player from the North, and they knocked it in on their own. It went off a South player into the net. Let's see who they give credit to. It went off a South player. They may be going to give it to Kate Mullins. They're giving the goal to. And I think it was Mia Shenna who probably should have got credit for the goal because she took the shot and it went off the South player into the net. But I guess they gave it to the nearest player. It's a tough way for South to start the game, giving up a goal with the shot going off the defender, and I gave the goal to number 19, Mia Shenna. It was she took the shot from right around the 10-yard line. It was going past the far post, and it hit the South player and bounced in the net. Nobody feels worse than the defender. I think I mentioned Lillian Goslin from Swampscott going to Bryant is in net for the North. Emily Goddard of Danvers going to Trinity for the South. And it was tough. Like the first game, the boys, the South didn't have a goaltender. They had somebody had a volunteer. Alves, he did a great job, by the way. But he had a volunteer because there were a couple of goaltenders who didn't show up. And I still don't know. There has to be a major reason why, if you're picked to play in this All-Star game, that you decide you're not going to play. Or it could be you're on vacation, or it could be you have to go to school early. But there has to be a really huge reason why you turn around and say, I don't think I'm going to play, or I'm not going to show up. South's trying to break it up. North's trying to keep it going. Blocked. We had a major first in the Agganis. I don't think it's ever happened. I've never seen it happen. I've never heard of it happening in the girls' softball game. Maya Perone, I think I'm getting her name correctly, the first name, Maya Perone, from Beverly, scored 2-1 in favor of the South. She hit a home run over the left fielder's head. Coming around third, heading for home, the plate umpire stepped out to give her a high five, something that obviously never happens, but has never happened in a Agganis game. But the reason it never happened in a Agganis game was the plate umpire was also named Perone. It was her mother. Perone's mother was umpiring the game, and her daughter hit a home run to tie the game up. And when she reached out to give her a high five, her daughter ran right by her to go to the bench and celebrate with her teammates. So it was daughter scoring at home plate with her mother trying to give her a high five, who was the plate umpire at the time. Where else could that happen but at Agganis All-Star game? South's trying to control. They couldn't get a lot on it. Looked like Eliana Anderson of Danvers just got a touch, and it just rolled toward Lillian Goslin, and she made the easy save. It's been a warm day. It's cooling a little bit with the girls. It was really hot for the boys. And that sun was a pain in the neck through the first game. It cleared away, and now it just broke away from the clouds, so that if you're sitting on the near side, you're looking right in the sun at midfield. You look to the right, look to the left, it's not too bad, but you look straight ahead and that sun blinds you. So hopefully it'll get down quick. We're in the first half of this 27th Agganis All-Star Girls Soccer game. They knock it deep, trying to get there before it goes out of play. They can't. No, they did. Anderson from Danvers hustled and just stopped it right on the end line. And it gets knocked out, and the North will get to put it in play. And it'll be Gosling doing the honors, kicking it away. It deflected right onto the foot of Thea Lowe of Cambridge. She made a trip to get here. Down deep, walking in, didn't take the shot, had the goaltender coming out, had the goaltender out of the net, and tried to draw around and get a different shot. And Alashenko of Hamilton Wenham drop kicked it wide right and out of play. And Michaela Shapoval of Danvers will boot it away. Knocked down by the North, but they can't collect. Delaney Dana, just as she was reaching it, she could run in by the North and got knocked down. Knocked away nicely from behind by Callie McMahon of Winchester. Some of these girls have come a long way to play in this game. And it's an honor to be selected to play. A lot of these people thought my high school career is over. Get ready for college. And all of a sudden they got a call from their coach or a letter or whatever the communication was. And they wind up, you get to play one more game. And I'm sure they were all pleasantly surprised and happy, as were their parents, especially the locals who were playing on their home field for the last time, but even the ones that are traveling. Oh, the North team had Central Catholic, Cambridge, Arlington Catholic, Cambridge, that coming a distance. Alec McMahon from the south, from Winchester. And that sun is just enough to be a pain in the neck right at midfield, shining right in everybody's eyes. I'm not sure why they turn the lights on here. I don't know if they go on automatically. I certainly don't need them right now. Knocked into the south bench area. This is the end of the week before the granddaddy of them all takes place, the 61st football game tomorrow night. And that's skipped by Julia Downey of St. Mary's. Julia's going to Assumption. Olivia Egan, I mentioned going to Clemson. I coached her father in CYO basketball. Pass in front, walking in right at the goaltender. The ball popped right onto her foot. She was all by herself, and all she had to do was just chip it in. Everybody battling.
North goal scored by number 28, Kayla Carlin.
28, Kayla Carlin of Bishop Fenwick. So that's a legitimate goal. The first one was a shot that bounced off one of the defenders of the South that cost him a goal. This one was, they moved the ball extremely well, and just a little touch pass, and sitting inside the 5-yard line, waiting for the pass was Kayla Carlin of Bishop Fenwick, was going to UMass Amherst, and she was dead in front of Emily Goddard of Danvers, and Goddard had no chance to block that one. And North has grabbed a 2-0 lead here in the first half. That sun is disappearing again, hopefully this time for good. The other big plus for these girls, they're playing the locals, but also the other girls are playing with girls that they played against and got to know, have playing against them a couple of games in the Catholic Central League Bishop Fenwick or the Northeastern Conference League, Marblehead, Swampscott, Peabody, and he might have been playing in other sports like basketball, hockey. Maybe during the summer they played some summer leagues, traveling teams might have played with or against each other. And now they get to be teammates or just players that you played against that made friends with, didn't play with. Now you get to get a little closer to those because you sit on the same bench together. And you make new friendships at the end of your high school career. So it's a lot of pluses with absolutely no minuses this Agganis week. There are no losers, there are only winners. Mike Shenna from Arlington is the head coach for the North. Jessica Gambali stepped in and has been doing a great job at Lynn Classical. Pressed into service. We've become very good friends. I know her entire family. Ava Thurman can't get there. Ava's an outstanding athlete. She's a name that certainly reminiscent with people with athletics. Her father, Tony Thurman, her uncle, Eddie Thurman, outstanding players for Classical High School in a couple of sports. Just get a piece of that shot. Nice save by Emily Goddard. They had a breakaway. And I think that was Carlin again from Fenwick looking to chip it home. And Goddard just got a piece of it. But the Thurmans are great. I mean, I remember Tony Thurman being on the Bob Hope program, All-American football player. He wasn't going to play basketball at Boston College, but they enticed him and he came on and played. I think he didn't play for the varsity right off the bat, played for, I don't know if they have a JV team, but he played and he got like 35 points. They said, we're going to put you on the varsity. So they were both outstanding athletes. And Ava Thurman, the same thing. Great basketball player, very good soccer player. She's going to Suffolk, which is where my daughter went. Tony and Eddie are both good friends of mine, as is Ava. And that's the beauty of what I do. I get to watch, talk about, and then get to know all these terrific young men and young women that make a lot of friends. It's been a great ride for me. Short hopping that shot from long range. Goddard scoops it up. She'll kick it away. As we're coming up on 9 minutes left in this first half. And I talked to Paul Howland. Paul's the guy that puts this all together. He dots the I's, crosses the T's. He's been in charge of this for a very long time. He has a lot of great people working for him. One is his basketball official and counter schedule guy, Moona Mullins, who's been around for a long time helping out. They do a tremendous job getting all this together. They start working on it early. And then you get nervous because the week comes and you got it all set. You got everything going. You got soccer, baseball, softball, football, lacrosse, all being played outside. So then you have to worry about the weather. And so far the weather has cooperated greatly. But Paul and his group, and he has a lot of people that work for him. Local coaches who are directors like Jeff Newhall or Matt Durgan, just to name a couple that are directors for the different games. All the local coaches who are excited about coming and coaching. The officials, I believe the officials donate their time. So a lot of people putting a lot of time, effort, energy. A lot of people donated. The fans coming and ticket sales and sales of T-shirts and all helping to improve the outstanding scholarship fund. And it's just an outstanding week. And then you blink your eye and it's over. We started out saying there'll be 9 games played in Agganis week. All of a sudden, we're almost through 8 games. This is the 8th game. Again, the granddaddy tomorrow will end the week, and you blink and you say it's over. And I know Paul Howland and his group breathe a big sigh of relief. They love what they're doing. They have to. They don't get a nickel paid for what they do. And they work very hard getting it done. And then you just hold your breath and say, please don't let it rain or have any horrible weather or have any problems. And then all of a sudden, it's over. And they get it done. And they don't really get, there's no thank yous or no big press releases or no books written about Agganis week and mentioning all the great people that do all the great work and everybody that got it going, got it done. Another big save by Goddard off the redirection by Thea Lowe of Cambridge. But it takes a lot of work, time, effort, and energy, and they get it done somehow. And they don't want any handshakes or any thank yous. They just want to get it done. And the next thing would be to put all the money together and start writing out checks for all those scholarship winners. And as we mentioned, the Yawkey Foundation gets involved also with Harry being a former Red Sox player. They give a scholarship every year. Thomas Demakis, and Greg Agganis also give out scholarships, as well as all the Agganis scholarships. So everybody getting involved. Trying to walk around, looking to get the ball. A battle going on. And North finally wins the battle and kicks it away. I want to say it was Anderson of Danvers who was battling with the defender, tried to get around her, kept getting a foot on the ball, and the defender finally got it away and kicked it away. And the North will put it in play with the throw-in. North's trying to touch and go, we get broken up. And the North will kick it deep. And it's a foot race. And getting there first was Gabriel Jesus of Lynn English, kicking out of harm's way. Across, Goddard comes out almost to the goal line and nails that centering kick. And sitting right on the doorstep was Eva Bellicini from Bishop Fenwick. 4 minutes and counting left in this first half. 2-0, the North. The first goal was a deflection off a defender out in front. And I gave the goal to Eva Bellicini. Excuse me, not Mia Schenna off the deflection. And the last one was a perfect pass out in front to Kayla Collins, sitting right inside the 5-yard line all by herself. Got the pass and just tipped it in. Centering it, just couldn't get a lot on it. That was Bellicini from Fenwick again. Had to reach around and try to get a foot on it to try to kick it toward the net. It just rolled in to Goddard and she'll kick it away. Looking for a break. Nice defense. Looked like she was going to walk in alone. And they snuck in from behind, got a piece, knocked it loose. It finally rolled to Goddard, and she'll kick it away. She got by one defender, and the other defender came up and got a piece of it. Might have been Hinchin of Danvers. Not easy to pick up the young ladies' numbers when they get some of them got their hair halfway down their back covering their number. Rolling in and sliding and knocking it away. I think that was McMahon of Winchester. Two minutes and counting. Thurman pushing it up. Got a foot on it again. Back to Thurman. Broken up. Bounces past Julia Downey of St. Mary's. There's that sun again. Dead center. Would be pass. Got tipped to the middle. As we're winding this one down, that one went right through the referee's legs. He stepped right over it. Looking to get around. Nice little move. Walking in. Walking all the way in. Big time save by Goddard. Lily Gerson, a Marblehead, made a nice little shift. Teague went around the defense, walked right in, ripped it in, going in inside the near post. Goddard made a big time save and keeps it 2-0. Final moments of this first half. An own goal off a defender, and then the second goal by Kayla Collin, which was a pretty goal, setting her up in front, made it 2-0, and that's where we are as North gets a corner kick from the near side. North got a head on it. That might have been Chloe Dern of Hamilton Wenham, and just as you get the head on it, knocked it wide, the whistle sounds, and that'll be the end of the first half. So the 2 goals in the first half is the difference. North looking for another win. They're leading it 2-0 over the South. North leading it 2-0. They've won 4 of the last 5, and the last one was last year, and that was a tie. 2016 was the last time the South has won a game in this girls' soccer. 16-6, the North leads the South in the series with 4 ties. That 4th tie last year. And North trying to start another streak. They're trying to make it 5 out of 6. They won 4 in a row. Tied last year, so that's 4 out of 5, going 4-0-1. And now they get a 2-0 lead, looking to go 5-0-1. They knock it deep. She's not going to get there. Trudy Gesamondo from Linfield. She's going to Buffalo State. She was out in front and just a little too much mustard on the pass. A shot by Mia Schenner of Swampscott deflected off a defender into the net, made it 1-0. And then sitting on the doorstep, coming up with the ball right around inside the 5-yard line was Kayla Collin of Bishop Fenwick, and she banged it home. And that's where we are, 2-0 North. A couple of minutes into this second half. North controlling in the south end. Taking a shot from long range. And she got, I don't know if she went down or got bumped and fell down. But that was Samantha Sharp of Bishop Fenwick putting it on the net. And Goddard made the save. A little too much push, trying to send Gesamondo from Linfield to the net, and God is able to come out and grab it first, and she'll kick it away. North controlling it has been in the south end for quite a while here in early going of this second half. Trying to get it to the net, and they're going to call North way offside. Deflected. North tried to keep it in. Couldn't. South will get the throw in right in front of their own bench. Trying to get around the defense, wound up kicking it out of play. Upfield is finally going to go out of play. Samantha Sharp of Fenwick bounced around a couple of times, lost her balance, finally kicked it upfield, and it went too far and out of play. And now it goes off the head of Sharp. She's going to Worcester State. South with the throw-in. Gets knocked out. And the North will get to throw it in. And South will knock it out. And North will get to throw it in again. Lights have been on here for a while. The sun is now finally, not being a pain in the neck, is finally sinking behind the trees over at Pine Hill Cemetery. Kick deep. That winds up going out off the foot of Lexi Reyes of Saugus. And Samantha Sharp will put it in play again. And this time it goes out off the North. Michaela Schafferval of Danvers will put it in play. As North will make many changes. Knocked upfield. South trying to get something going. Offensively, they trail 2-0. They haven't had that many shots on net. Goslin from Swampscott could have bought a ticket for this one. She hasn't really had to do a lot. She comes out now and scoops it up, and she'll get a chance to kick it away. South gets there first, coming down the far side. Broken up, nice defense. And they're going to get the defender for taking the player down. She made the nice defensive play, but then inadvertently wound up tripping and knocking the South player. Eliza Correnti of Classical down. Actually, it was Anderson of Danvers. So the free kick coming from the 20-yard line. Gosselin gets it done. There was a lot of white shirts around looking for it. As it bounced, she grabbed it quickly and fell down like she recovered a fumble. She made sure there was nothing except her catching the ball and getting rid of it. There wasn't going to be any rebound. Nice little shift. So just can't get anything going offensively. Picked off by the North. 3-on-2 for the moment. Now 2-on-1 for the moment. Trying to walk in. Couldn't get the shot off. Thea Lowe of Cambridge was walking in. Couldn't control it. Finally got lost off her foot. Went out of bounds. And the South will kick it away after a couple of substitutions. They had 2-on-1. They got it across, but she just couldn't control it. There's been nice little crowds here for these games. Family, relatives, friends. Maybe teammates coming to watch these athletes this entire week perform. Walking in. I don't think she ever thought she was going to get the ball. It popped by, and she tipped it wide. I don't think she thought, I have no chance of getting this. And the pass came across, and she's shaking her head saying, how did I not knock that in the net? That was Jessica Marks from Austin Prep. Somehow that pass got through. By the time she realized it did, she got a foot on it and just missed the net. North tracking it down. Dumping it back. Popped up towards the net, headed away. Nicely by McMahon of Winchester. And they're going to let it go out. And South will get the throw in. And we'll have substitutions. Well, Asima Gabrielsus from English chases down the ball. She's going to Northeastern. Her and she had a sister who played as well for English. They both played well. And gets knocked out by the South. Gabriel Jesus knocks it out of play. And he forgot to shut that gate down. It went down behind the stands on the other side. They put a different ball in play. So you don't have to wait for that to come back. North looking to get a shot off. South can't clear it. Upfield. Broken up. And it gets knocked away and carried away by Tara Mannion of Arlington Catholic. And her pass gets wide, incomplete, out of play. South will put it in play. Broken up. North gets it back, broken up again. And it winds up going out of play off the south. Now, South knocked it out again. And the South does it again. And they're going to call it off the North. I thought the South just kicked it out. South's going to get to throw it in. "15 minutes into the second half. No scoring in the second half, all the scoring in the first half. 2-0 the North. Continuing their domination in this Agganis girls soccer programs. This is the 27th. 16 wins by the North and 4 ties. That's 20 out of 26. South has only won 6 times. Kind of kick it in front. And there's McMahon knocking it away. And now it goes out off the South. And we'll have substitutions, mass substitutions for the North, a few for the South. We're in the final 20 minutes of the second half. And at the end of that 20 minutes will be 8/9 of the week done. 8 of the 9 games will be finished. South will put it in play. Blocked by the North. And they control as they kick it upfield. And we got, I think they're calling offside. So South will get to kick it away. Skips past. North controlling. They get it to the near side. Kicked upfield. And Glasgow hustles and knocks it out. Off the field, a Bullock from Link Classical. We mentioned Jessica Gambali. Almost pressed into service to be the classical soccer coach. Nice ball movement. Can't get the shot off. Still couldn't get the shot off. She was bouncing around, trying to get a shot off, and she couldn't. That was Kate Mullins of Marble Hill was the one doing all that fancy footwork. She kept getting by people, but she couldn't get a shot off. Finally broken up. And the North is just bottled South up completely. They can't get the ball upfield. They can't get a shot. And they're just keeping them back on their heels and totally controlling the game. And it's back looking for a shot. To the net. Put it right on the net. Goddard made the nice save. That was Chloe Gem from Hamilton winning with that shot on net. We have to wait till they turn around and get their numbers. And here we go again, right back upfield. It goes all the way through. Goddard comes out, grabs it. And South just can't get anything going offensively. They haven't got the ball over midfield very often. They have it now. And that was Delana Daney knocking it upfield. She got knocked down for her efforts. It goes out. Schafferval and Damas will put it in play as we have substitutions. 15 minutes and counting left in the second half. 3-0. God is going to kick it away. They knock it deep. Right. I was reading the timeouts. I thought it was 3-0. It's still 2-0. Haven't scored in the second half. And South, this is the longest South has had the ball in the north end. And we got a knockdown. Ava Thurman got leveled by Sharp of Bishop Fenwick. So from just outside the 15-yard line, South is going to get a shot with the free kick. And a little too much foot on that one. Kicked it high and wide and way over the net, out of play. Schafferval puts it in play. Thurman got knocked down again. And it winds up way back in the south end. And the north takes it away. Popped up. Cleared away, but there's nothing but blue shirts there. Thurman, it bounces by her. Broken up by Sharp of Fenwick. And he knock it deep again. And they'll let it go out. Shapoval of Danvers just watched it go out. Substitution for the South. This is a problem when you have these all-stars and you're not used to playing with each other. And normally, if you have your own teammates, I pass to you, you pass it back, break into the net. You know what the person's going to do. When you're playing with people you have never played with before, you have no idea how they play the game. So it's a total different game, and it's hard. And they knock it home. It deflected off a couple of people. And we finally get a score. That the North is kind of putting this one away. And I wish I could get a number because her hair is covering it up.
North goal scored by number 19, Mia Shenna.
Senna gets her second goal. She was the one that scored earlier when her shot got deflected in by a defender for an old goal by the South. And the score is now 3-0, and that's going to virtually put this game out of reach for the South. They haven't had a shot on net in a very long time. And now they got 3 goals to make up and only 8 minutes to do it. So North is going to make it 5 out of the last 6. And he only, of those 6, he didn't lose. There was a tie. So they're going to go 5-0-1 in the last 6 games. Deflected wide. God is going to kick it away. Bouncing loose. That was Downey trying to deflect it. Again, a great way for these young ladies, the locals, to finish up. You know, they had no idea whether they would be selected or not for this game. So when they played their last high school game, especially their last game here at Manning Field, they probably thought, that's it, my high school career is over. And then they get picked to play in this game, which is a big honor, and they get to play it at their home field. And they get to play one more game here at Manning Field. And it's going to be very nice for these young ladies to finish up in front of the family, friends, relatives, maybe some of their teammates that came to watch them play.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the conclusion of this game, we'll have the presentation of the most valuable player trophies.
Asima Gabriel Jesus of Lynn English, Red Bullock, Eliza Correnti, Delana Daney from Lynn Glasgow, Julia Downey, Olivia Egan, Allie Fritz from St. Mary's, and Ava Thurman from Lynn Glasgow. As we reach the final 6-minute mark, with the North comfortably ahead 3-0, they're going to make it 5 wins in the last 6 games, and they're going to go 5-0-1 because last year was a tie. So they haven't been beaten in the last 6. 2016 was the last time that the South won. And I mentioned again, they didn't play in 2020 because of COVID. Nice little shift walking in. Tipped it ahead. Nice defense. Sharp picked it off. Couple of nice shifts getting by. They made a little pass. It looked like they were going to set up. It was either Ava Alea or Eliana Anderson that were going to get the pass and take the shot. And Samantha Sharp just got a foot on it and knocked it away with a nice defensive play. We'll have a substitution for the North. We'll have MVP awards for both teams after this. Here comes the North again. They have dominated. They've kept the ball in the south end almost entirely. South just played defense, trying to keep them off the board. And the South has just not been able to generate any offense at all. Goslin from Swampscott, who's going to Bryant, had a very easy time in net. Anything that came was from long range. You got a good look at it. And haven't been many of those. So I was trying to keep it alive. It goes out off the North. And the North takes it away almost immediately and takes it right back to the south end, which is where it's been. Got to be at least 80% of the game played in the south end. Now a break. Still in control. Takes the shot. Deflected off the goaltender and knocked in. Gordon had to come out and make the save, and she got a piece of it. And then sitting on the doorstep was Ava Bellaccini.
Number 29, Eva Bellaccini.
Bishop Fenwick. All she had to do was just touch it, knock it in the open net. Gordon got a piece of it, knocked it down, and then it deflected over to Bellaccini, who just knocked it home. I can't tell you when she's going next week. She's the only player on either places that say undecided for her college or what she's going to do next year. And it's right back in the south end again. So North gets 2 in the first, 2 in the second. The shot's going to go way wide and out of play. And we reached the 2-minute mark. The clock is stopped. As I mentioned, North is going to win the game. They're going to go 5-0-1 in the last 6 games. And it's still a drought since 2016 for the South. They didn't get many shots on net. Lillian Goslin from Swampscott going to Bryant. Didn't have a very difficult night in net. And the ball has been just where it is right now most of the time. Great save by Goddard. Right out in front. They set her up. That looked like Jessica Marks of Austin Prep. They threw it out in front. She was wide open. She ripped it. And God had made a tremendous save. But it's just been total domination for the North. And they keep it in again. Trying to center it. Deflects to the near side. Thurman hustling. Kept it in, but then taken away. And the North gets it back, and they put it right back deep in the south end. And here we go again. They blow the whistle, and that's going to do it. So the North makes it 5 out of 6. They win it by a score of 4-0. Mia Shenna getting 2. The first one was a deflection off a defender, and that was really all they needed. Kayla Carlin got the goal late, made it 2-0, and stayed that way for a while until Shenna got her second to make it 3-0, and then Ava Bellaccini got a great pass, standing right dead center out close to the goal line, inside the 5, and all she had to do was knock it home. That was the 4th goal. So 2 goals in each of the first 2 periods makes it 4-0, and that was the final score. So the North will get their 17th win. South will have to wait for their 7th win. 17-6 with 4 ties, and the North has just totally dominated. 4 in a row they won. Last year was tied. Now they make it 5 out of 6 as they win this one. And Eliana Anderson of Danvers is the MVP for the South.
And for the North, for the goal and assist, number 19, Mia Shenna.
Mia Shenna, they gave her a goal and assist. I gave her 2 goals. She gets the MVP for the North, and the North continues their domination, and they did dominate. South couldn't get a lot of shots on net, and the North winds up winning it 4-0. So we're 3 days into the Agganis tournament, 8 games into the 9-game week. The 1 game left, the granddaddy of them all, the football game coming up tomorrow, and that will do it for another outstanding, successful Agganis week. And that will be here at Manning Field. What a great way to end it, right here at Manning Field tomorrow night with the football. But we've had some great players, great games, and we've seen a lot of terrific athletes and a lot of memories for these young people who got to play their final game on their home field. All these players, lacrosse players, soccer players, they get to play here, and the football players will get to do it tomorrow. And it's a great way to finish up your high school career. So to all the young ladies here in this game, all the seniors playing their final high school game, congratulations to all of them. They had great careers at their schools. They were a credit to their schools. They handled their school, they faced their school, and they represented their schools extremely well. And we wish them the best in whatever they do in their upcoming activities. So 4-0, the North, over the South. And 1 game left here in Agganis week. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm John Hoffman saying we'll see you next time.